Exactly. Well, thank you, Nick, for the very nice introduction, and thank you, Mike and Nick, for allowing me to be part of this great event, this great organization, and also helping out with CRs. Everyone should talk to Mike if they haven't already. Talk about a fight. If you've ever seen an internal political fight, you haven't really seen it until you talk about what Mike went through and his team to be elected state CR chairman and really turn things around here in New York. My accent came out there a little bit. As Nick said, my name's Colin Schmitt. I'm from Montgomery, New York. I lived in Orange County almost my entire life. I started out in politics and public service at a young age, so it's good to see some of us young guys finally stepping up to the plate, Nick and the YRs in the back. I've worked on campaigns at every level of office, from local mayor to United States Senate. I was on Assemblywoman Annie Rabbit's staff for several years. I've worked in the private sector. I founded New Dawn PAC, which I still chair to this day, focusing on budget reform, ethics reform, and job creation in New York State. Problems facing New York State have been caused by both Republicans and Democrats, and it's going to take Republicans and Democrats to come together and fix it. This is fairly purple state, with the Senate being Republican, and the Assembly being Democrat, and the Senate being Republican. So it's going to take both parties working together. And also, as Nick pointed out, an initiative we launched fairly recently is the Stop NY Double Dip campaign. Basically, there's a scandal that erupted this year involving career politicians double dipping, collecting both their pension and full salary while keeping their same position. They retired in name only for a few hours on the last day of the year, and then took the oath of office the next day and doubled their yearly intake. And my thinking has always been, and always will be, elected officials are public servants. They are there to serve others, not their bank. And so we took them on, Republicans and Democrats. Some people that I've known for my entire life, I publicly called out for saying you are doing something that's wrong and that is unethical. And we've had thousands and thousands of supporters from across New York State who have signed our petition, who have come on board, and who joined in my call to reject the failed policies and practices of these career politicians. So that's some of my background and some of the goals that we've been trying to achieve, and now running for the Assembly, having more cash on hand than the incumbent, 11-term incumbent who's been there as long as I've been alive. So I think that's really a principle that Be Heard and all of us next generation of leaders can look up to, and crushing another potential opponent totally in fundraising has really been uplifting. It's really been eye-opening to see there is a great grassroots team here in Orange County and throughout New York State who are looking for next generation leadership. And a precept I'd like to live my life by is a quote from General George S. Patton. He said, "It is better to fight for something than live for nothing." As next generation leaders, it is our responsibility to live this maxim to the fullest. Whether we are running for public office like myself, chairing a PAC like Nick and the Be Heard guys, or engaging in any other form of public service, whether that's being a teacher, whether that's being a fireman or cop, or simply teaching religious school. We must hold true to our core principles and values. Living in New York is not easy. The once great Empire State is now turned into the Exodus State. Our generation and every generation is fleeing at an alarming rate. High taxes, unaffordable cost of living, and no jobs are systemic problems caused by career politicians who continue to run our state into the ground. Yet these issues only begin to scrape the surface of what really needs to be fixed. We hold the power to make things better. We can do better, and we will. It is incumbent on us to preserve our state. We cannot pass the buck. We cannot simply blame others. We must offer solutions, as Nick pointed out earlier. We must work harder, longer, and under more difficult circumstances than anyone before us to achieve our goals and enact these solutions. It will not be easy, but it is necessary. New York is the greatest state and is the greatest country in the world. Everything that is great about America we can find right here in New York. Beaches and mountains, farms and valleys, the greatest educational institutions in the world, and the most powerful city in the world. All right here, where we live. Despite all that is wrong, so much can be done to make it right. And let's never forget those who came before us. Let's never forget those who are going to come after us and the work we have to put in. And as Be Heard points out, we can be a voice for a generation. Be a voice, not an echo. It's not just a line on a sign. It's not just a slogan. It's an actuality. We can do better. We will. Thank you, Nick, and thank you, everyone.
He's just made in America.